Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Rolex Cosmograph Daytona in rose gold reference 126515L and with a black index dial. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history, then tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup of other similar Daytonas, then tell you about the case bezel dial bracelet movement, finally tried on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. The Cosmograph Daytona has been out since the early 60s, and that makes it approximately 60 years old already. And it's Rolex's most complicated sports watch, most iconic sports watch, has the most number of variations. It has the most expensive, it's the most expensive sports watch that Rolex makes. And in my opinion, it's the best sports watch that Rolex makes. They originally were going to call this watch the Le Mans after the Le Mans race in Europe, but knowing that America was, and it still is, its biggest market, Rolex decided to name it after a race that the Americans would recognize, hence the name Daytona. Very wisely so, because it has since gone on to be their best seller, or at least their most prestigious seller. Okay, that's a little bit about the history. Now, of course, since 1960s, they've come out with tons of different variations of this watch, hundreds in fact, right? And this is the latest version of it. This is the absolute latest as of 2024. And I believe this version will probably be continued to be made like this for many years to come. I would say at least another 10-15 years they'll keep it in this configuration. Now let's talk about where does this watch stand in the lineup of other similar Daytonas. Well, the Daytona, as you can imagine, being Rolex's best sports watch, it has the most number of variations. So it comes in different materials: steel, steel and gold, rose gold, yellow gold, white gold, and even platinum. And it comes on different bracelets, different bezels, the list goes on. This one is the sportiest of the Daytonas. Why? Because it comes on this rubber strap, and well, it comes on the rubber strap. That's basically why it's the sportiest. In terms of pricing, it comes in mid-range. The watch is going for approximately $40,000 at the moment, and Daytonas range between $20,000 and a little over $100,000. So this is $40,000 is kind of mid-range. All right. That's where this watch stands in the lineup. And let's move on to the case. The case has not changed from the previous generation. It's still 40 millimeter, probably always will be 40 millimeter. It uses an Oyster case, makes the watch look very streamlined. In my opinion, it's a perfect fit for the Daytona, being that it is a racing watch. It has racing history, so it should be a streamlined case, sort of like a streamlined car or any other racing machine. Very streamlined. Now let's move on to the bezel. Now this bezel has changed from the previous generation. The bezel here is has a ceramic insert, but on the outside of it, it has a rose gold or metal that matches the case. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, it's not that big of a deal. The previous generation had a big block of ceramic, which made it so that the bezel would not scratch, but it made the bezel look a little bit bulky. They solved that problem by putting the bezel in a rose gold or matching metal material, and then putting an insert of ceramic instead of making the entire bezel ceramic. And if you ask me, it makes the watch look much better. It does not turn. It calculates the speed of using elapsed time. Okay, anyways, that's the bezel. Now let's move on to the dial. The dial on the rose gold with the Oysterflex, at least as of 24, they have not released many dial configurations. I believe that will change over time. But right now they just have this black. They also have the reverse of this, which is Sundust with black subdials. And they also make a black diamond dial. That's it. So if you like rose gold, Oysterflex, these are your three options. And of those, I really like the black. I think it matches a lot of things. And what else is different from this generation of Daytona than previous is that Now the hour markers are longer and skinnier. Before they were shorter and fatter. That makes the watch look, one, more streamlined, and two, a little bit more vintage cues to it. Also, the subdials, the ring that goes around the subdial is thinner than before. It was a little bit fatter before, probably to match the proportions of the bezel. The bezel has now slimmed down, and therefore so have the subdials, and so have the hour markers. And in my opinion, it makes the watch look much more complete, much more cohesive, and it gives the racing history that this watch deserves. I like that. Okay, and it also has this very nice bottom part that is red, spelling the ever so famous Daytona name. All right, that's the dial. Those are the two things that have changed, the bezel and the dial, which is quite a bit. Let's talk about the bracelet. Now the bracelet here is actually, the rubber strap itself has not changed. It's still an Oysterflex strap with it actually has a piece of metal inside here to keep it so that it keeps the shape. And it also has these air gills, which has also not changed. Well, what has changed is the buckle. The buckle before on the Daytona was a simple buckle. It just simply had 3 positions that you could change. On the new Daytona, which is what you see here, it has a glide lock. And the glide lock allows the bracelet to be changed, the size of it to be changed. And in my opinion, it makes the watch look gives another level of comfort and makes the watch have a perfect fit. Before, it just had 3 little places that you could change. So now it basically has a glide lock at the buckle, which is also an improvement. Okay, let's move on to the movement. The movement is also changed from the previous generation. The old generation was a 4130 movement. The new movement that you see here is a 4131 movement. It has a longer power reserve. It's more precise. You can't see it anyways, but on the newer or on the platinum one, you can see it. It has an exhibition case back. Interestingly enough, if you request, we can actually make a open case back for this. Okay, at any rate, so that is quite a bit that has changed. You have the bezel, the dial, the movement, and the bracelet. That's actually every single part of the watch. Yes, it does not look like a completely new watch, and it shouldn't, because the Daytona look itself is why you buy a Daytona. So you don't change it completely, otherwise you make a new watch. But they have refined it and made it, in my opinion, at least the best Daytona that they can possibly make. And I can't see them changing this anytime soon. I would say at least 15 years before they make any kind of change, because it basically looks perfect. What can they change on this? Okay, now let's move on to my thoughts and let me try it on. As you can see, the watch, it looks really nicely on my wrist. I have a 7.5 inch wrist and I'm 200 pounds. You can see what I like about the Daytona. Well, first, I think I said it in the beginning, it's great that it has so much history. It has so many variations. It's the most desirable. It's the most complicated. It has the most of everything. And in my opinion, it's just really the best. So I really like the Daytona. And why do I like it on the Oysterflex? I like it on the Oysterflex also because it doesn't scratch easily. It looks a little bit undercover. Not everyone's going to be staring at your watch if it's not all like a brick of gold, but it still looks super nice. It's really sporty, and I believe that it's Rolex's most luxurious sports watch. So for that reason, I definitely going to give it a 2 thumbs up. If you like to buy this watch, click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazzdumb.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on show more to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.